mean, there were so many stories that we heard that we didn't put in the movies. Kind of, we just limited it to the hookers in the white limo part. But there were we just heard the craziest shit. It was just like he injected heroin through his eyeballs, and he would like try to do concerts, and they'd have to go in the parking lot because he'd be in a tree on acid playing with sticks, and he was like the most legendary maniac of the time. Keith Moon was pretty predictable in his hotel breaking. This guy was really creative with the mayhem he did. And I mean, that's why they made Animal in the Muppets. So I don't know. I just, in the same vein as Animal from the Muppets, I guess. When I asked him if he wanted to see the movie, he said, "Why the fuck would I want to see the movie? I lived it, cunt." This isn't someone who lives by, our rules. He's from another. He's got a gated compound, and he's got his own laws, and he's a chief, and now he doesn't live there anymore. But look, he's a totally different organism altogether. I just called him up, and I kept calling until he started talking, because at first he was telling me to fuck off. The Africa thing was what really was my favorite part of his life, and what I felt was the most interesting chapter in his life, and which was the most obscure chapter in his life, but it was so monumental. I mean, he was like, the stuff we cut out from that part of his chapter was like, we could have made a whole movie just on Ginger Baker in Africa, and there is one, that I'd seen. It's a very obscure kind of movie by our executive producer, Tony Palmer. But look, fellow Cootie married 28 women at once, and Ginger Baker was his best man. I mean, it was just crazy, the story. So I started talking to him on the phone, and he started telling me about the stuff. And, like we cut out Paul McCartney recorded Band on the Run down there, and Ginger had like a falling out with him, and his crew went, and they were going to murder Paul McCartney, and Ginger had to stop them. And there were just so many crazy stories from Africa. And he was telling them to me on the phone, and I was just like, this is amazing. I'm going to get Paul Bettany to play you or something. I don't know what's going to happen, but I need to hear about this. And he was just really psyched to talk about it. So, and then eventually he was like, I've got bad hearing, just fucking come here, as you saw. And, then I went there. I guess it was the trust, the persistence. I sold my car. He kind of thought that was, admirable. And, he just thought I was crazy too. So, he thought I guess the thing was, people had written him off as being so scary that no one wanted to go there and maybe do what I did. So the fact that I was, pugnacious enough to continue, pushing him into letting me do the thing, eventually, I guess I gained his trust. I don't know if I ever did, but we talk. I mean, my dad played Ginger Baker like everyone from my generation's dad on the steering wheel of his car. Yeah. And, he'd be drunk as hell downstairs, and we'd be like, God, if only he could turn the Ginger Baker down, I have to go to school in the morning. I grew up, I moved my dad's record collections to my bedroom at a young age, and I just think they're the best ever. I think, there's Coltrane's Quintet, and then there's Cream. I don't think any other rock bands from that day touched, even come close to touching their excellence. I mean, Jimi Hendrix is obviously amazing, but the two other guys in the band were not nearly as close to as talented as, the Cream, I don't think, power trio-wise. And, Led Zeppelin, I was really excited to make this movie so that people could leave and realize how overrated Led Zeppelin was.